Coaches, welcome. My name is Erik Anderson. I am the League Administrator and your host for today's Coaches Meeting. And you are attending the 2025 season Coaches Meeting for the National New Shooter League and the National Air Pistol League. Before we get started in earnest and allowing more people to join us, a couple just lighthearted announcements. Joining me, not just today, but for the entirety of the league, is John Becker. John Becker is our customer outreach specialist, and he will be assisting me with the league administrator duties. And not really just assisting. He actually does most of the day-to-day work. And the league has grown big enough that we really do need and appreciate his help with it. John has an extensive background in the shooting sports. He was the coach at Granbury Marine Corps JRDC. He previously was the Texas State CNP director. Has coaching certificates with USA Shooting. I do encourage you, if you have questions about running your own league, running a virtual match, or really just kind of any competition best practices, to reach out to John. He is a resource that we make available. He's a resource, his expertise we make available to our Orion customers for your benefit. All right, logistics for the meeting. It will be about 45 minutes, depending on the questions that we receive. The topics of the meeting are specific to the New Shooter League and the Air Pistol League. If you have questions about using Orion, we will have to address those externally. And this is specifically about the leagues themselves. We encourage you to ask questions. This coaches meeting, the information is for you. So as we go along, if you have questions, use the YouTube chat box to type in your question, and we will address your question either immediately if we can, or wait till the end to address it. And please note, today's webinar will be recorded and available for download after the fact. All right, this is our 8th season for both the Air Pistol and New Shooter League. The New Shooter League did see some growth this year. We have 70 teams. That's up about 15% from last year. The Air Pistol League, we had the same number of teams, but more athletes this year. So I applaud the teams that are, recruiting more athletes to participate. Okay, eligibility. Eligibility to compete. In the Air Pistol League, it is open to all age groups. Both junior and adults are welcome to compete. In the Air Pistol League specifically, we will name at the end of the season a junior all-star team. The purpose of this is to encourage junior athletes in their development. And of course, to be named to the junior all-star team, you have to be a junior, which by the rule book is what they refer to as U21, under 21 age. Still in the Air Pistol League, if you have members of your club who participate in the PPP program, they may shoot. However, for what should be obvious reasons, PPP athletes may shoot for score only. All right, on the new shooter side, eligibility has 3 parts. Eligibility to compete on your team has 3 parts. First, according to the rules, you have to be a high school age athlete or younger. The New Shooter League is for sporter class athletes only. And of course, as the name implies, the New Shooter League is for new shooters. We define the New Shooter League as athletes having their first competition experience on or after the 1st of August, 2024. This is intent to correspond to the school year, the start of the school year, and there was a rule update. It is also now the recommended definition for new shooters. We do make a notable exception for BB gun athletes. If your club has someone who shot previously in BB gun, they are still eligible to be a new shooter. We want to give BB gun athletes a encouragement to move up to the sporter class, so we do allow them to maintain their new shooter eligibility for this year. All right, so let's talk about what's new this year. A lot of you are coaches from previous years, so I want to highlight some of the new stuff that is going on in this upcoming season. First, we've got a brand new website. Many of you who participated in the fall leagues saw the new website. It's new. It has a modern design to it, and perhaps most importantly, it's mobile friendly. The results and all the information, rankings for the teams, team pages, the game results, and documents for the league, all of that is available on this new website. Results.scopus.tech is where you may find it. And also note, just a quick side note, that if locally you are part of a league program, the tools that we use to run the league here, this National League, are also available to all of our Orion customers. If you are interested in using the same tools to run your league, reach out to us. We'll probably put you in contact with John, who can help organize your local leagues using the same tools that we use. All right, the second thing that is new this year, and again, you might have seen a preview of this in the fall leagues, is we have individual athlete rankings now on the website. Hopefully, you are all subscribed to our email list, and we sent out a newsletter this afternoon describing how athletes can sign up for the Scopus accounts and track their scores online. Part of that is, if they signed up and they do track their scores during the league, is they'll be part of the athlete rankings. So brand new, and when we talk about awards in a few slides, we actually are going to give out a few awards this year for the top individual athletes. All right, and the third thing that is new this year is our weekly press releases recapping the each week's games will be published to the Shooting Wire. Many of you are probably already subscribed to the Shooting Wire. It's a external service. We're not directly associated with them, but they do a lot of press releases throughout the shooting industry. And starting this year, we will be publishing our weekly league recaps to the Shooting Wire. All right. So now let's turn our attention to the actual details of the league and what goes on. Excuse me. During the league itself, in order to make the league successful, both us here as league administrators, John and I, and my entire Scopus team, and you, the coaches, we each have responsibilities to make the league a success. As league administrators, we have a responsibility to schedule the games each week. As coaches, in order to help us do that, you have to let us know about any scheduling conflicts. For example, many of you are high schools and may have spring breaks. Let us know if that's the case. When you registered for the leagues, we gave you options to which bye weeks did you want. Many of you took advantage of that. Thank you. That helps us schedule the games. As league administrators, it is our responsibility to announce the winners of each game Monday and send out the press releases. And coaches, in order for us to be able to announce the winners, you have to submit your scores on time. And that means not only shooting your league game each week, but if you have any technical questions, contacting us before that deadline. Next, as administrators, we have a responsibility for setting a standard playing condition for all teams. We adhere to the rule book for doing so. Coaches, your responsibility in this is to follow those range commands, to follow those time limits. That helps all teams, all athletes compete under the same conditions. And finally, in this example, as administrators, we have a responsibility to promote the league to the media. We just talked about how we're going to start sending the press releases to the shooting wire. Coaches, to help you promote your programs, we need your team photos. So be prepared in the next week or so to gather your team together, take a photo, and send it in so we can link it up to your team. And when the media asks, we can show all of your smiling faces. All right, the season itself. There's two parts during the spring league to the season. The first part is going on now, and it's the preseason. Preseason is a really good opportunity for programs who may have never competed before to practice in a league-like setting without your scores counting. And even programs that have been competing in the league for all 8 seasons, it's still a good opportunity, and I encourage everybody to take advantage of that. And again, the preseason is going on now through January 26th, and it is open to all teams. The regular season starts on Monday and goes for 10 weeks. During those 10 weeks, each team in the league will participate in 8 games. That means all teams through the course of the season will have 2 bye weeks. The scheduling is created dynamically by Orion, and we'll talk about how that scheduling works in a couple of slides. And during the regular season, all team members may participate. If you have 4 athletes on your team, if you have 40 athletes on your team, we encourage all of them to participate. And your team score will be the top 4 athletes each week. One quick note, last season we did ask the new shooter coaches if you wanted to go from a 4-person team to a 3-person team for the new shooter league, and during the survey, and we heard you. Most of you told us that you wanted to keep it as at a 4-athlete team, and we did. We do take those survey comments seriously, so I thank you for your input, and because of that, both the New Shooter League and the Air Pistol League will remain taking the top 4 athletes for your team score. All right, with that, I do want to pause momentarily to give each of you a chance to, once again, check your team registration. We have links both in the YouTube chat box, and you can see them online, or take your phone out and use the QR code. And check 3 things. Check the spelling of your team name, check the hometown that's listed, and check the accuracy of your bye weeks. Again, perhaps you have a teacher workday, perhaps you have a spring break. Make sure you have the bye weeks corresponding to your academic calendars. Again, I will brief momentarily to give you that opportunity. If you have changes that you would like to be made, now's a great chance to get those changes in. Email us at league@scopus.tech. All right, coaches, thank you. Let us continue. And again, as we move along, this information is for you. So if you have a question, please type your question into the YouTube chat box. All right, so what is the game? There is 1 game for each team each week. For the purpose of the league, the week is defined as Monday through Sunday. In the New Shooter League, your course of fire is a 3x10 using the current kneeling, prone, standing ordering. All targets are scored in decimal. This is the feature of the sport. We are adhering to the future. And the rules are governed by the National Standard 3-Position Air Rifle Council rules. I still really wish they would come up with an acronym. All right, on the air pistol side, your course of fire is 60 shots. Again, this is pretty much standard throughout the country now. and the rules are governed by the current CMP airgun competition rules. In both leagues, all games are virtual. What that means is your club will shoot from your home range, and the team you're shooting against that week will also shoot from their home range. And then through the magic of the internet and a lot of programming, the scores will get combined online for each club to see. All scoring for all games will be done electronically. So if you're shooting on paper, you'll use Orion to scan and score your targets. If you're using Athena, they'll be scored automatically through the magic of ESTs. Or if you have one of the much more expensive competitors of ours, Megalink or Seus, you may use those as well. All right, as coaches, one of your responsibilities is to schedule a time to shoot. During the course of the week, again, you have Monday through Sunday as coach to schedule your team to shoot. And some of you have large teams, and that means you may have to divide your team up into multiple days to allow everybody to participate. That's fine. Or you may, and we encourage you to, have additional practices throughout the week. So in this kind of fictitious example, for a person team, the top one, you have 2 athletes shooting the league scores on Tuesday, and the other 2 athletes shooting the league scores on Thursday, and then they're practicing. The other members are practicing. That is perfectly okay. We encourage, this is allowed. So what's not allowed is if you try to shoot your league scores multiple times. Sorry, that will earn a disqualification. All right, we did have a question about if you have a team that only has 3 members. We get that sometimes, especially with the New Shooter League, you may only have a limited number of athletes who can participate. No, we're not going to disqualify you for only having 3 athletes. Obviously, your team is at a disadvantage by only having 3, but you are still allowed and encouraged to participate. All right, scheduling. During the regular season, scheduling is what we call dynamic scheduling. And we have 2, honestly, competing goals with dynamic scheduling. The first goal is to allow for the first goal is to allow for a diversity of teams to compete against each other. It would be really boring if the same teams competed against each other all season long, or even across multiple seasons. So we try to mix that up some. We do that in the first 2 weeks of the league, because the first 2 weeks of the league is completely random, 100% random. The second goal is to allow teams of near equal skill level to compete against each other. And we really start this goal out in the 3rd week of the season. Starting in the 3rd week, you'll be scheduled to shoot against another team of near equal skill level. And we use what we call league points to figure out that near equal skill level. And again, the first 2 weeks, random. Starting the 3rd week is when we start to pair teams up with the same skill level. And the one thing that we will do, if a team has 2 or more DNSs did not start, we just stop scheduling you altogether. If you're not competing, we're not going to schedule you to shoot. All right, rankings, and going back to this league points. All teams will be ranked according to what we call league points. And league points is your seasonal average plus effectively bonus points for winning a game. In the New Shooter League, it's 10 points for each win. And in the Air Pistol League, it's 15 points because you have a larger course of fire. It's 15 points for each win. And if you have a loss, it's no penalty for a loss. But if you don't shoot, there's actually negative points assigned. So one of the things to pay attention to, coaches, is to shoot every week. Even if your team doesn't do well, you avoid taking that DNS, which is a big deal. So shoot every week. And bottom thing here on the slide is just an example as to how league points work. Say your team is averaging 1025.0 and you have a 4-3 record. Then your league points will be 1065, which is that 1025 plus 10 points for your 4 wins. All right, next is how to participate in a game. And this is a really high-level overview. We'll get into the details in just a moment, but how to participate in a game. All right, step 1. On Monday, you open up Orion, and you can download your game for that week inside of the Orion software. Step 2, show your sportsmanship and reach out to your opposing coach and wish them good luck. Step 3, add the athletes to your game inside of Orion and assign them to your team. Step 4, as coach, again, schedule a time with your team to compete. And again, you have Monday through Sunday to compete, but schedule a time, make sure your team knows when they are competing. Step 5, that's the fun part. Shoot. Follow the range commands and the time limits, and compete. That's, like I said, that's the fun part. Step 6, if you are shooting on paper, scan in your targets and get the scores into Orion. Step 7, this is actually, you don't have to do anything because Orion will do it for you. Your scores are automatically uploaded to the internet. Step 8, as coach, once you have finished shooting, or even while you're shooting, go ahead, open up the results website and check that your scores got uploaded successfully. It baffles my mind the number of times coaches don't do this step, but please, coaches, yes, check your scores online and make sure that they did successfully get uploaded. And do you have any technical questions on getting your scores uploaded? You have until Monday at noon to do so, and we have at Scopus, our customer support representatives are available to assist you. And then step number 9, once again, show your sportsmanship. And regardless, if your team wins or loses, send a note to the opposing team and commend them for their performances. All right, a little bit more details about how to participate in a game. We have 2 different instructions available depending on whether you like videos or reading. We have YouTube videos available for you to watch that will give you more details on how to participate in a game. And we also have printed versions of the same information. The printed version is the instructions and range command manual that is available online through your phone at our results website. To practice, and I encourage all teams to practice doing this, there is the preseason. If you haven't already participated in the preseason, once again, I will encourage you to do so. You have until Sunday to participate in the preseason. And please note that the use of the range command script is mandatory. This is one of the ways that we make sure all athletes and all teams are participating under the same conditions, is by using the exact same range commands and time limits at all locations. And there's lots of different places that you can get the range commands and time limits. The manual that I just referred to, that the little video on the left, you can read it right off your phone. If you're using Athena, the range commands are built into the Athena software. Or exact same, the source of it all comes from the CMP website, and you can go to the CMP website and get the exact same range commands as well. All right, this bears repeating because it is so important. Coaches, after you have shot your scores, or even while you are shooting your scores, open up the results website and make sure that your scores are getting uploaded correctly. you will see your team's scores, and if the team you're shooting against that week has shot, you'll see their team scores. And again, that's available at results.scopus.tech. And inside of Orion, you can just click the globe icon to open up the website. On Fridays, on Fridays, we send out reminder emails to all coaches of the scores that we have in the system for you for that week. Again, you have until Sunday to compete, and we're sending these emails out on Friday. So if you had shot already that week and you get this email and something looks strange, give us a call so we can help you out. If everything looks okay, great. No need to take any further action. And you know what? Perhaps your team is scheduled to shoot on Saturday. That's okay. You can just ignore the reminder emails that we send out on Fridays. And this, I laugh because the number of times that coaches seem to forget this. Very important, basic thing to understand. Scores are due Monday at noon. Here at Scopus, we do have customer support team ready to assist you. But note that customer support is only available Monday through Saturday. We are closed on Sunday. All right, coaches. One thing that we do during the course of the season, we do this at random, is we do pick a couple teams each week and check the targets that you have submitted. Things that we are looking for, correct scoring, obviously. If there are any penalties that needed to be applied, we make sure that the penalties did get applied correctly. I will say the biggest issue we see here is the too many shots in a position rule. If you have questions on if you have an athlete who fired 11 shots onto a target and you have questions about how to apply that rule, we have the actual text here up from the rule book, but give our support team a call and we can walk you through it. Normally, when we see a issue with scoring, the first thing we do, we just correct it. We want your team to get the score that you earned, and we want the opposing team you're shooting against to get the score that they earned. So, the first time that it happens, we're just going to correct it for you, and we'll let the coach know. But if it happens multiple times, and you're still making the same mistakes, we would assess additional point for, again, making the same mistake multiple times. All right. Special circumstances that come up during the season. Scheduling conflict. We talked about it already, spring break, teacher work days, religious holidays, they're out there. Tell us now. Submit your bi-week requests to correspond with them. If you don't tell us about these scheduling conflicts, we may or may not be able to help you during the season. If you tell us now, we can work around them. Weather delays. This time of year, snowstorms happen all across the country. Global warming is real. It intensifies these storms, and things are just getting more and more severe. Weather delays happen. We can't predict them ahead of time, so when they do happen, let us know. We're going to work with you to allow your reschedule your game so you can still shoot. But again, the important thing is, coaches, when you do have those weather delays, let us know as soon as possible so we can work with you. If you wait too long, we may not have options to work with you. If an athlete is sick, too bad, the game goes on. Athletes get sick all the time in different sports, and you have to rely on your backup players. This is true in marksmanship, and is true in basketball, and true in soccer, what have you. The game goes on. And please note that in an extreme condition, we don't want you to do this, but if there is an extreme condition where it is warranted, we would cancel a game. But again, that's kind of a last resort. There was a question that came up. We're starting to assess penalties rules. That is in the rule book. Perhaps one of my assistants can provide a link to the rule book and the reference within the rule book to learn more about. I think what they call unusual shots, unusual circumstances during the match. All right, press releases. As mentioned, one of our goals here with the league is to promote the sport, promote your teams, promote your athletes. So we do that by producing press releases every week. And we have two different press releases that we send out. First, we have a weekly recap of the league that we make available on results. We make it available on our main website. We send this out to our Scopus email subscribers, and as you saw at the beginning of the coaches meeting, those will also be published on the Shooting Wire. The second set of press releases is a per game press release, and we send that out to the coaches, you, and anybody that you asked us to also send it to. All right, with that press releases and helping us promote the sport and promote your team, we need photos of your teams and all of your smiling faces. We put the press releases up on our website. We'll put them up on Facebook, and we include them in multiples press releases themselves. So please, coaches, gather your team together and encourage the coaches in these photos as well. Take a photo of your team, if possible, within your club clothing, and send it in to us, and we'll link it on your team page and include it within press releases. All right, awards. Let's talk about some fun stuff. Awards. Participation awards. So this is for everybody who is participating in the league. Each team, both air rifle and air pistol, will get a league pennant. We are working with a new manufacturer this year to have a higher quality pennant, and we will be sending those out. Participation awards, we'll be sending those out approximately the third or fourth week of the season. Also, each athlete will get a participation pin and a league sticker for their rifle and pistol. And we send out the number of participation pins and stickers based on the actual number of athletes who are competing. So if you have athletes and you want to make sure that they get awards, make sure they shoot in the first 2 weeks so we can count them and get the pins and stickers out to them. All right, team competition awards. So this is at the end of the season. In the Air Pistol League, we will provide medals for each athlete from the top 3 teams in the league. In the New Shooter League, because these are new shooters and we want to encourage their growth and development as athletes, our award structure isn't based just on competition. We have an award structure that could actually allow every team in the league to earn awards at the end of the season. Hasn't ever happened, but it could. And we put equal weight on competition. So win 5 or more games, that's one of the criteria. Participation. If you participate in all 8 games during the season, that's the second criteria. And the third criteria is to show improvement. And the way that we show improvement, the way that we calculate that is a Excel function. It comes from Excel, and it calculates the points per game improvement. So if a team gets 2 of these 3 criteria, we'll award them with medals at the end of the season. And if a team, the top 3 air pistol teams, and any team that meets 2 of these 3 criteria, we'll also send those teams a banner at the end of the season. There was a question about can I switch out my new shooters throughout the season, or do I have to keep the same four? For both Air Pistol and the New Shooter League, we encourage all members of your team to participate, whether that's 4 athletes or 40 athletes. There's no switching out. There's no need to. Orion will always count the top 4 athletes, regardless if you're shooting 4 team members or 40. Orion will always count the top 4 scores. All right, individual competition awards. So, kind of new this year. As mentioned at the start of the coaches meeting, we now have the capability of ranking individual athletes within the league. And what we're going to do for both the New Shooter and the Air Pistol League is the top 4 athletes in both the leagues. We're going to, just send out league T-shirts as prizes for their individual performance. The rankings of the athletes will be on results, same pages as the league. And one thing to really, I want to emphasize this: the participation in these individual results, individual rankings, is completely optional. And coaches, seriously, this is not up to you. It should be up to your athletes as to whether or not they want to be listed and be included in these rankings. It is optional for the athletes. To participate, though, the athlete does have to have a Scopus account, and their scores must be linked to at least 5 games during the season. And as it turned out, to learn how to create that Scopus account and learn how to link a athlete to their scores, our newsletter this week that came out a couple hours before this coaches meeting talked about exactly how to do that. Is a great technology that we call score history, and we encourage athletes, rifle, pistol, all of the above, to create an account to start tracking your scores online. All right, on the Air Pistol side. And this is only on the Air Pistol side, we will have what we call a junior all-star team. And again, this is we're trying to encourage junior athletes in their development. So the top 4 junior athletes will be named to the junior all-star team. And we'll send out a plaque recognizing their accomplishment. Coaches, here, we do need your help to identify who is a junior athlete on your team. And please note that for this junior all-star team on the Air Pistol side, you do not have to have a Scopus account. That Scopus account requirement is only for the T-shirts that we're giving away for the top 4 overall performances. All right, coaches, mentioned how to participate. I mentioned about showing your sportsmanship and reaching out to your opposing coach to wish them luck, to commend them after the game. We really encourage you to do so. The way that you will be able to learn about your fellow coaches' contact information is on Monday or Tuesday next week. We will send out a spreadsheet listing all of the coaches and their email address and their phone numbers. Coaches, of course, if you don't want to share your information, you may opt out of that. Please let us know before next week if you do not want to be included, but we do encourage you to do so. It's just a nice way to show your sportsmanship. With that, I just want to ask coaches, when you do get the spreadsheet with all your fellow coaches' contact information, respect your coach's privacy. This information is being shared to you for the purpose of this league and this league only. Just respect your fellow coach's privacy and not use it beyond that intended purpose. All right, as we're getting close to the end, there's one subject I did want to bring up this year because it constantly weighs on me. Every season, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 times, we get a email from a coach, and I wish this was an exaggeration, but it isn't. The email basically says, from Team A, Team B had to have cheated this week because their scores changed and they shot above their average and then they beat us. Again, we get a few emails like this every season, and one particular case in the in the fall really struck home for me. Again, Team A accuses Team B of cheating. They email us, so we investigate. We investigate every one of these emails that come in. So we looked at Team B. Team B, and I'm purposely leaving off the names. Team B, when we looked at their targets for that week that they got accused for, first thing we notice is they're shooting on paper. They correctly printed and used the league barcode labels. When you print barcode labels for the league, they're actually encoded differently from other games that you may have over the Ryan. And Team B was correctly using the ones for the league. Then we also noticed that they scanned their targets in the kneeling, prone, standing order, which is what we asked them to do. Further, we noticed that they were scanning their prone targets in 15 minutes after the kneeling targets. They were scanning their standing targets approximately 20 minutes after the prone targets, which means they were not only shooting in the correct order, but they were scanning the targets in as they were shooting. Then we noticed that they scanned every target once. And yeah, guess what? We can actually detect if a team scans targets in more than once. We also noticed that there was no tampering with the bullet holes. Yeah, once again, we can detect if somebody tampers with the bullet holes. Then we noticed that this team had, they were one of the larger teams, and they were shooting across 3 different relays. And they had assigned the athletes to the correct relays that they were shooting on. Then we looked at the individual targets, and this coach must have been doing a good job because every one of their athletes, from the top athlete on the way down, had exactly 10 shots on each target. There was no extra shots and no need for penalties on anything. The only oddity, and I put this in quotes, was their third relay. Again, they had a large team, was shooting after school on Friday. And the entire reason that, their scores changed was they weren't done shooting yet. They had a large team. It took them three relays to get through it all. When I got done with this, looking at this particular case, not only did I conclude that Team B was not cheating, Team B was doing everything correct. Team B was doing everything that we asked them to do, and I commended them. On the opposite side, I concluded that the coach of Team A, who made this accusation, was guilty of unsportsmanlike conduct, and really disappointed me. So, look, coaches, this is a sport. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Last weekend, my alma mater, Kentucky, lost to Alabama in a men's basketball game. And you know what? I'm a Kentucky fan. I would love to see Kentucky win every game. But on Saturday, that afternoon, Alabama was the better team. I still enjoyed watching that game. It was well played, 2 of the top teams in the country. Yeah, there was a few too many fouls, but I really enjoyed watching that game. It was exciting to watch. And that I can appreciate. So again, coaches, this is a sport. Relishing the opportunity to compete. Play fair, play hard, but play with integrity. All right. In summary, coaches, the league starts on Monday. If you have questions or concerns, contact us. The quicker you can contact us, the more chances that we will be able to work with you to allow you to compete. You have Monday through Sunday to compete. Scores are due on Monday. Again, coaches, please, I beg you, check your scores online. Have fun, work hard, and try to get better. The one thing I will tell all coaches, and this is true every season, the biggest hint I can give you for a successful competition league is to improve. League play favors teams that improve. So on days you're not competing, get to the range, work hard, and start shooting better scores. All right, almost there. Coaches, you asked for it. In the surveys, we do have T-shirts available on sale on our website. They are $24 each, and you may get them again on our website. And with that, that is all the information that I wanted to present to you. Coaches, thank you for sticking with me. If you have questions, please, again, use the YouTube chat box to ask your questions, and I will stay online for a few minutes to answer anything that you may have. One additional reminders, again, for coaches, many of you run your own local leagues. If you want to use the same tools that we are using for the national leagues as Orion customers, they are available to you. Reach out to us. We'll put you in contact with John, who can teach you more about using, again, the same tools to run your own leagues. All right, coaches, I don't see any questions coming in. I wish you all the best of luck during the season itself. Again, the season starts on Monday. It moves pretty fast once it starts going. Have your team practice. Try to get better. And we've got 10 weeks to compete. So again, thank you for attending. Contact us with any questions during the season. And yeah, good luck. Good luck to each of you. Again, I will stay online for a few more moments to see if anything comes up, but I don't see any additional questions so far. Yeah, thank you, Michelle, from Morgantown. Questions about how to use Orion, how to use Athena. Please contact us. We are here to help. We want you to have a successful time using the software, using the hardware. Please contact us so we can get you all the help that you need to have a successful program. All right, I don't see any questions coming in, so I will go ahead and close out the live stream. Again, in summary, league starts on Monday. The preseason is still going on. Coaches, good luck to you. Work hard, and let's have a great season.